Hi, this is Alex from PHP Academy, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at creating a file upload form to allow us to watermark an image, and by watermarking an image I mean placing another image on top of that image while retaining the same size image. So obviously we're going to take a look at how this works. First of all, we're going to be creating this function base, so if you are wondering, you'll be able to use this watermarking functionality across your website because we're going to be creating it in an external file which is going to contain two functions. The first one is just to check allowed images, so we're going to have a list of images that we're going to be allowing our user to upload. This also prevents the user from uploading any other image types. The second function is going to be the watermarking itself, so that's going to actually create the watermark onto the image. So let's go ahead and take a look at first of all how this works. I have a simple form here. It just has a label saying choose an image, and then we have a file upload option here. Then we have a button saying watermark. This is essentially a submit button that just submits this form. So let's go ahead and click choose file. Just inside my file browser here, I've got an image here which is just a screenshot of a PHP Academy video. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Notice that the file extension is JPG, which is one of the file extensions that we are allowing. I'm going to go ahead and just double click on that and click on watermark. Now I've created this to give a link to the image that has been watermarked. You might be wanting to say automatically watermark an image and not display it to the user but store it somewhere, say in an image gallery. So that's absolutely fine as well, but for the purpose of this tutorial I've created a link to the watermarked image. So let's go ahead and click on that. You'll see that this watermark just up here, phpacademy.org, which does have a background transparency, has been uploaded or watermarked onto this, and this is the original image here that's been obviously retained. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the original image so we know exactly what changes have been made. Let's just click preview. And let's just bring that into view. You can see that the original image was just a screenshot and we didn't have the watermark. So we've added this watermarked image onto this image that we're uploading. So that's essentially how it works. We're going to go ahead and jump into the code and start to write this out. Just one quick word of warning, this does use the GD library, which is basically a development library in PHP that allows you to use a certain set of functions to perform graphic or image manipulation. This does come bundled with PHP, I believe, in things like XAMPP. So if you are using XAMPP, then this will already be installed. But otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and get on with the tutorial, and I'll assume that you have GD installed and ready to go. But by default, with XAMPP and other web server packages, it should be already, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we're over to our text editor, and we've got two main files here that we're going to be working on. The first is index.php, which is the file that you saw in my web browser. We've also got images.func.php, which is going to contain our two functions that I explained just a moment ago. So let's just first of all take a look at our directory structure. Let's just go back to the root directory. We've got index.php here, which you can see in my text editor here. We've also got a folder called func, which contains images.func.php. Now, like I said just a bit earlier, because we're storing this images.func.php file inside this folder, we can actually include this in any other PHP file, and therefore we're going to be able to use this watermark function pretty much anywhere that we want. So that's the useful part of this. We're not just doing it all on one page. We've also got this directory called images. Inside here, let's just show all of them. We've got the watermark.png file here, and then we've also got a folder called uploads, which contains all of our files that we've uploaded and successfully watermarked. So in this case, that's the image that I did just a moment ago. So let's go ahead and just delete that. And let's go back. Watermark.png, we are only dealing here with PNG extensions or PNG file types. This is just so we can get the background transparency and it looks nice on the watermarked image. So if you are using something like Photoshop, you can go ahead and create this kind of image and just sort of delete the background or hide the background just to get that transparent effect. But essentially all this is just some text with a transparent background. So that's basically the files that we're dealing with and the folder structure. So the first thing that we want to do in index.php is go ahead and actually build this form. So let's just go ahead and build the form. So we're going to say form action, and then we need a method for this as well. We do need another attribute to this form field, which I'll explain in just a moment. The method of this is going to be post, and we also need this attribute called enc_type, and this is just going to handle the file upload itself and allow us to access the file from PHP. So this is just multi-part and then / form data. So inside here we can now start to write out our form. So I'm just going to say choose an image, and on the next line I'm going to create a input field for the actual file itself. So the type will be file. The name of this is just going to be image, and I don't think we need any attributes, other attributes there. We then go ahead and create our submit button, obviously, so we can actually go ahead and submit this form. So the input type for this is going to be submit, and the value for this is going to be watermark. If you are using this sort of on a web page where you want to just automatically watermark images, your form obviously may look a bit different to this. It might just be that users want to go ahead and upload any files and you want to watermark them in the background. Okay, so above this form we want to go ahead and open up PHP tags and obviously close them as well, and this is where we're going to be doing all of our work. But beforehand we need to go ahead and include this images.func.php file so we can start to use the functions on this page. So let's go ahead and require this file in. So it's in the func folder and the file name is images.func.php. Now just before we actually go on, the first thing we want to go ahead and do is use a function to determine whether the file that's been uploaded is within file types that we specify. So we're going to be allowing JPEG, PNG and GIF uploads. So we want to go ahead and check for this and make sure that the image or the file that the user is uploading is first of all an image, and second of all, does it match the images that we accept to be uploaded. So this is all conditional on whether this form has been submitted and whether the file exists, i.e. has the form been submitted. So the first thing we want to go ahead and do is just create an if statement to check if the files array is set. So let's go ahead and choose is set $files image. Now remember, this is image here, and that corresponds to the name that we've put into our form. And if the files array of this image here that we've put into our form is set, we can go ahead and actually start to check that it is an allowed image, and then watermark the image if it is. But there's first of all a few things we need to take from this files array, and that is the image name or the file name and the file temporary location. So let's go ahead and do that now. We'll say file_name equals, and this is going to equal $_files, and we're going to access the image file. Remember again, this corresponds to the form here, and that's just name in there. And then we're going to say file tmp, and that's going to equal $_files, again image, and tmp name, so tmp_name, and that's just the temporary location of the file that we can use to then go ahead and watermark it. Now the watermark image process is actually going to handle the upload of the file and the placing of the file inside of our images directory, so we don't need to worry about that at all. It will still place that in for us. So let's go ahead and just outline what we're doing here. I'm going to be writing in the function name, although we haven't created the function inside of here. But the first thing to do is check that this is an allowed image. So I'm going to say if, and just bring that down there, and I'm going to say allowed_image. That's the function that we're going to be creating in just a moment. And I'm going to feed in the file name. So this function is going to take one parameter, which is the name of the file, and we're going to determine the last or the file extension from this, which is probably the best way to do this, just to avoid people trying to change file names to get past our security. So if the image is allowed, we can go ahead and watermark the image. So let's just go ahead and put a comment in here for now, watermark image. and then what we want to do is actually sort of echo out the image location as you saw in the example a moment ago. Otherwise I'm just going to say let's just go echo,